Good day, my friends. Let me remind you today, no one can stop the destiny God has placed inside you. People may talk about you, mistreat you, walk away from you, but their actions cannot cancel God's plan for your life. It's tempting to want to fight back, to get even, to prove yourself. But the best revenge is not in getting even, it's in rising above it. It's in becoming everything you were created to be. If you waste your time trying to pay people back, you're only letting them control your future. But when you choose to let it go, to forgive, and to keep moving forward, that's when God steps in and fights your battles for you. You see, success is the greatest response, not bitterness, not resentment, but becoming so blessed, so favored, so full of joy that those who hurt you will have to step back and say, wow. Look what God has done in their life. Maybe someone walked away from you. Maybe they lied about you. Maybe they betrayed your trust. But don't you dare let that stop you. Your destiny is not tied to the people who left. It's tied to the God who remains. He sees every wrong, every tear, every hurt, and He is preparing a table before you in the presence of your enemies. So don't seek revenge, seek elevation. Let God promote you, increase you, and take you places you never imagined. Your joy, your peace, your success. That is your greatest revenge. Stay in faith, keep honoring God, and watch how He turns your pain into power. There will always be people who try to bring you down, discourage you, or make you feel like you're not good enough. Some will talk behind your back, spread lies, or deliberately put obstacles in your way. Others might reject you, mistreat you, or even betray your trust. But here's the truth. They do not have the power to stop what God has already set in motion for your life. No person, no setback, no injustice can override the purpose that has been placed inside you. What God has ordained, no human can cancel. People's words may sting, and their actions may cause you pain, but they do not have the final say. They may try to limit you, but they are not your source. Your promotion doesn't come from people, it comes from God. Your breakthroughs, your blessings, your success, they don't depend on the approval of others. When someone closes a door on you, don't get discouraged, because that just means God is about to open a better one. Look at the stories in Scripture. Joseph was betrayed by his brother, sold into slavery, falsely accused and thrown into prison. It looked like his future was over. But the same people who tried to stop him couldn't prevent what God had already planned. At the right time, God lifted him up from the prison and made him second in command over all of Egypt. The betrayal didn't stop his destiny. The lies didn't stop it. The rejection didn't stop it. If God did it for Joseph, He will do it for you. Sometimes people's opposition is actually part of God's plan to elevate you. What was meant to harm you, God will use to promote you. The betrayal, the rejection, the unfair treatment, none of it is wasted. It is setting the stage for something greater. If those people hadn't hurt you, if they hadn't walked away, you wouldn't be stepping into the next level of your purpose. God knows how to take what was meant for your harm and use it to push you into your destiny. Don't get distracted by the people who are against you. If you spend all your time trying to prove yourself to them, you're wasting valuable energy. Your assignment is not to convince people to like you, to treat you right, or to see your worth. Your assignment is to keep moving forward in faith, knowing that God is on your side. If He is for you, who can be against you? It's easy to think that if someone is trying to stop us, they must have some kind of power over our future. But the truth is, they are powerless against God's plan. They might slow you down, but they cannot stop you. They might make things more difficult, but they cannot take away what is rightfully yours. God is the one who holds your destiny, not your critics, not your enemies, not the people who walked away. You may feel like you're stuck right now because of what someone did to you. Maybe you lost an opportunity because of their actions. Maybe you were treated unfairly and now you're feeling discouraged. But don't give up. God sees everything and He is working behind the scenes just like He did for Joseph. He is positioning you for something greater. The very thing that looks like a setback is actually a setup for your comeback. Remember, no one can block what God has for you. They may try to discredit you, spread rumors about you, or make you look bad. But in the end, the truth will always come to light. When you stay faithful, when you keep honoring God, He will make sure you are vindicated. He will make sure you rise higher than before. The people who thought they could break you will be surprised when they see how God blesses you in ways they never imagined. So don't let opposition shake your confidence. Keep your head high, keep your faith strong, and keep pressing forward. What God has spoken over your life will come to pass no matter who tries to stop it. The only way they win is if you let them distract you. Stay focused, stay faithful, and watch how God takes you to places beyond what you ever dreamed. When people hurt you, betray you, or try to bring you down, the natural response is to want to fight back, prove them wrong, or make them feel the same pain they caused you. But real strength isn't found in retaliation, it's found in rising above it. The best revenge is not in getting even, it's in refusing to let their actions define your future. When you rise above, when you choose to stay focused on your purpose instead of your pain, you take back your power. There will always be people who don't believe in you, who misunderstand you, or who try to discredit you. But you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. Your success, your joy, and your peace will be the answer. Instead of spending your energy trying to convince them, spend your energy becoming everything God created you to be. When you elevate yourself above the negativity, you make their words and actions powerless over your life. Think about an eagle. When crows try to attack it, the eagle doesn't waste time fighting back. It simply flies higher, beyond the reach of the crows. That's exactly what you need to do. Don't come down to their level. Rise above it. Keep moving forward. Keep excelling. Keep growing. Eventually, those who tried to bring you down will have no choice but to watch you soar. Rising above doesn't mean ignoring the hurt. It means choosing to heal instead of staying bitter. It means forgiving, not for their sake, but for yours. So their actions don't continue to have power over you. Forgiveness doesn't excuse what they did, but it does free you from the burden of resentment. Holding on to anger only keeps you tied to the very people you're trying to move past. Your best revenge is not in proving them wrong with words. It's in letting your success speak for itself. It's in walking into the blessings, the opportunities, and the joy that they thought you would never have. When you refuse to let their actions define your future, you take control of your life. You show them that nothing they did could stop you. Sometimes God will even use the pain they caused to elevate you. What was meant to harm you, God will use to strengthen and position you for greater things. The rejection, the betrayal, the loss, none of it is wasted. Every time someone tries to push you down, see it as an opportunity to rise even higher. What was meant to break you will only make you stronger. So don't waste time seeking revenge. Seek growth, seek healing, seek the next level of your destiny. The best way to silence those who doubted you is not by arguing, but by living a life so blessed, so fulfilled, that they can't help but see that God's favor is on you. Keep your heart free from bitterness. Keep your mind focused on your purpose. Keep moving forward no matter what. Because when you rise above, you don't just prove them wrong, you prove that their negativity had no power over you. And that, my friend, is the sweetest revenge of all. Too often we allow the words, opinions, and actions of others to dictate our happiness, our confidence, and even our future. Someone hurts us and we carry that wound for years. Someone rejects us and we start to believe we're not good enough. But here's the truth. No person has the power to control your destiny unless you give it to them. What they did may have been unfair, but it does not define your future. People will talk. People will mistreat you. People will try to discredit you. But you have a choice. Will you let their actions hold you back? Or will you rise above and keep moving forward? The mistake many people make is allowing the negativity of others to shape their own self-worth. If you let their actions make you bitter, if you let their rejection convince you that you're not valuable, then you're giving them power over your life. But they don't get to write your story. God does. Maybe someone walked away from you. Maybe they betrayed your trust. Maybe they tried to sabotage your dreams. But their decision doesn't determine your destiny. God's plan for your life is bigger than their betrayal. If they left, that means they weren't meant to be part of your future. If they hurt you, God can use that pain to make you stronger. Don't let one chapter of your life ruin the rest of your story. It's easy to get stuck in a place of resentment, replaying what they did over and over in your mind. But that only holds you captive to the past. You cannot step into the future God has for you if you are still carrying the weight of yesterday's wounds. Let it go. Don't let their actions take up space in your heart and mind any longer. They don't deserve that kind of influence over your life. Your value is not based on how others have treated you. It's not based on whether they accepted or rejected you. Your worth comes from God alone. He created you with a purpose, and nothing anyone does can change that. People may try to limit you, but they cannot stop the blessings that are meant for you. If God is for you, who can be against you? Some people will never see your true potential, and that's okay. You don't need their approval to move forward. Their opinion doesn't determine your calling. When you stop looking for validation from those who don't appreciate your worth, you free yourself to walk confidently into the future God has prepared for you. Don't let bitterness slow you down. Don't let unforgiveness hold you hostage. The best thing you can do is release the hurt, forgive, and move forward with joy. When you refuse to let their actions control your future, you show that their negativity had no power over you. You prove that God's plan for your life is unstoppable. So lift your head high. Keep pressing forward. Keep believing in the great things ahead. Because no matter what they did, your destiny is still intact. Your future is still bright, and your best days are still to come. There will always be times in life when people wrong you, mistreat you, or try to block what God is doing in your life. The natural reaction is to get defensive, to try to fight back, to prove them wrong. But the truth is, some battles are not meant for you to fight. They are meant for God. When you take matters into your own hands, you limit what God can do. But when you step back, trust Him, and let go, you make room for Him to step in and fight for you. You don't have to waste your energy trying to get even. You don't have to live frustrated, upset, or full of bitterness. The moment you release it, the moment you say, God, I trust you to handle this, that's when you'll see Him move in ways you never imagined. God sees every wrong, every injustice, every unfair thing done to you. He is your defender. He knows how to bring justice better than you ever could. Think about the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. When Pharaoh's army was chasing them, they were trapped at the Red Sea with nowhere to go. The people panicked, but Moses told them, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. And what happened? God opened the sea, made a way where there was no way, and defeated their enemies without them having to lift a finger. That same God is fighting for you today. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're allowing people to walk all over you. It means you're strong enough to trust that God is in control. It means you understand that revenge belongs to Him, not you. When you stay in peace and let God handle it, you position yourself for greater blessings. The people who try to hurt you will see you rise higher, not because you fought them, but because God's favor lifted you above the battle. The enemy wants you distracted. He wants you bitter. He wants you so focused on proving yourself that you forget about your purpose. But when you let go and surrender the fight to God, you free yourself from the weight of offense. You free yourself to live with joy, with peace, with a heart that is open to all the blessings God has for you. God knows how to turn things around. What was meant for harm, He will use for your good. The people who try to discredit you, the ones who walked away, the ones who talked about you, they don't have the final say. God does. And when He fights for you, He doesn't just bring justice. He elevates you, blesses you, and makes you stronger never than before. So don't waste another minute trying to figure out how to fix it. Let it go. Give it to God. Trust that He is working behind the scenes. Stay in peace. Stay in faith. And watch how He fights your battles and leads you to victory. When people mistreat you, when they betray you, when they doubt you, the best thing you can do is not fight back, not argue, not seek revenge, but succeed anyway. Success is the greatest response because it proves that nothing they did could stop you. It shows that their negativity, their rejection, and their opposition were powerless against the purpose God placed inside of you. Too often we waste time trying to prove ourselves to people who will never see our worth. We think, if I can just make them understand, if I can just convince them I'm good enough, maybe they'll change their minds. But here's the truth. You don't need their approval to move forward. You don't need them to believe in you for God's plan to succeed. Your future is not in their hands. It's in His. Instead of trying to prove them wrong with your words, prove them wrong with your life. Keep growing. Keep thriving. Keep becoming the best version of yourself. Let your success speak so loudly that those who doubted you can't ignore it. When you refuse to let their negativity define you, when you keep pressing forward, that's when you show them and yourself that their actions had no power over your destiny. Think about Joseph in the Bible. His own brothers tried to destroy him. They threw him into a pit, sold him into slavery, and thought they had erased his future. But they didn't realize that God's hand was on Joseph's life. Every setback pushed him closer to his destiny. He didn't fight back. He didn't waste time trying to get revenge. He simply kept being excellent, kept trusting God, and in the end, he became the second most powerful man in Egypt. His success was his response. The people who tried to hurt you, who walked away, who underestimated you, they will see God's favor on your life. They will see doors open for you that they never thought possible. And some of them will even have to watch you be blessed right in front of them. But by that time, you won't even care about proving anything to them because you'll be too busy enjoying the life God has blessed you with. Success is not just about money or status. It's about joy, peace, fulfillment, and purpose. When you can walk away from the pain, when you can heal and move forward without bitterness, when you can truly say, I'm happy, I'm thriving, and I didn't let their actions stop me, that is success. That is victory. So don't let the opinions of small-minded people limit your big destiny. Don't let their negativity distract you from the great things ahead. The best thing you can do is rise, grow, succeed, and walk in the blessings God has for you. Because when you do, your success will say everything that words never could. One of the hardest things in life is watching people walk away. Friends who betrayed you, relationships that ended, people you thought would always be there but suddenly disappeared. It's easy to feel abandoned, to wonder, why did they leave? What did I do wrong? But here's what you need to remember. Your destiny is not tied to the people who walked away. If they could leave, that means their part in your story is over. Sometimes we hold on to relationships that God is trying to remove. We think we need them to move forward, that without them we won't be able to reach our full potential. But God knows what He's doing. If they were meant to stay, they would have stayed. If they could walk away, let them go. Because your purpose is too great to be held back by people who weren't meant to be part of your future. Look at the story of Ruth and Orpah in the Bible. Both were widowed daughters-in-law of Naomi. When Naomi told them to go back to their old lives, Orpah left, but Ruth stayed. Notice this, Naomi didn't run after Orpah trying to convince her to stay. She let her go. Why? Because Orpah wasn't meant to be part of Ruth's destiny. Some people are only meant to be in your life for a season, and when that season is over, you have to release them. The mistake we make is trying to hold on to what God is trying to remove. We replay conversations in our minds, trying to figure out what went wrong. We dwell on the pain, the betrayal, the rejection. But the longer you hold on to who left, the longer you delay what's coming next. You can't step into your future while still clinging to your past. It's not easy to let go, but you have to trust that God sees the bigger picture. Sometimes He removes people to make room for better ones. That relationship that didn't work out, God has someone better in store. That friend who betrayed you, He will bring you new relationships that will uplift and strengthen you. When one door closes, it's because a greater one is about to open. When people leave, don't take it as a loss. Take it as a sign that God is redirecting you. The ones who left were never meant to carry the weight of your destiny. They were part of your journey, but not your final destination. And that's okay. Bless them, release them, and move forward with faith, knowing that the best is still ahead. So stop looking back. Stop wondering why they left. Your future is too bright to be stuck mourning what was. If they were meant to be in your life, they would still be here. Since they're not, trust that God is leading you to something far greater than anything you could have imagined. Your destiny is not behind you, it's ahead of you. Keep moving forward. There are people who have doubted you, underestimated you, talked behind your back, and even tried to block what God was doing in your life. Maybe they thought you wouldn't make it, that you'd never recover, that the challenges you faced would break you. But what they don't realize is that God is not finished with you yet. He is preparing something so great, so powerful, that even your enemies will have to witness it. Psalm 23:05 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." That means God is setting the stage for your victory. And He's going to do it where everyone can see. The same people who tried to stop you, the ones who thought you would fail, will have no choice but to watch as God blesses you beyond what they ever imagined. You don't have to fight for yourself. You don't have to prove them wrong. Your success, your favor, and the doors God opens will be proof enough. While they were talking about you, while they were plotting against you, God was working behind the scenes, arranging the details, lining up the right people, and setting the table for your breakthrough. Think about Joseph. His own brothers sold him into slavery. They thought they had gotten rid of him, that his dreams would never come to pass. But what they didn't know was that God was preparing a table. Years later, when Joseph had risen to power in Egypt, his brothers had to come to him for help. The very people who tried to destroy him had to watch him thrive. That's what God is doing in your life. The people who walked away, the ones who doubted you, the ones who tried to hold you back, they're going to see you rise. They're going to see the favor of God on your life. Not so you can gloat, not so you can get revenge, but so that God's goodness will be undeniable. Maybe you're in a season right now where it feels like nothing is happening. Stay faithful, stay patient. The table is being set. The feast is being prepared. God is arranging everything at the right time, and when He's ready, He will present you in front of those who thought you would never make it. So don't get discouraged by who's against you. God's plan is bigger than their opinions. Don't waste time worrying about what they said, how they treated you, or how they tried to block you. Your focus should be on the table that's coming, on the blessings that are on the way. When the time is right, God will reveal what He's been doing all along. Your victory will be undeniable. Your blessing will be unstoppable. Your success will be undeniable. And the best part, your enemies will have to sit there and watch as God lifts you higher than you ever imagined. Pain is something we all experience. Betrayal, disappointment, rejection, these moments can shake us to our core. They can leave us feeling broken, lost, and wondering why life had to turn out this way. But here's what you need to know. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something greater. What was meant to break you, God can use to build you. The very thing that hurt you the most can become the fuel that pushes you into your destiny. The enemy wants you to stay stuck in your pain. He wants you to dwell on what happened, to feel sorry for yourself, to believe that you'll never recover. But God wants to take that pain and turn it into power. He wants to take the very thing that was meant to destroy you and use it to elevate you. He wants to take the very thing that was meant to destroy you and use it to elevate you. The key is how you respond. You can either let the pain make you bitter, or you can let it make you stronger. Think about a seed. When it's planted, it's buried in the dirt, covered in darkness. It seems like the end, but really, it's just the beginning. That seed isn't buried, it's being positioned to grow. Your pain may feel like a burial, but it's actually preparation. God is using it to strengthen you, to develop you, to launch you into something greater than you ever imagined. Look at people who have achieved great things. Many of them didn't have an easy road. They faced hardship, rejection, setbacks. But instead of letting the pain stop them, they let it push them forward. They didn't let it define them. They let it refine them. Every struggle, every heartache, every loss became the very thing that shaped their greatness. Your pain is not wasted. It is working for you. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. But he didn't let the pain make him bitter. He let it make him better. Instead of giving up, he stayed faithful. He kept believing, and in the end, God elevated him to a position of power he never could have reached without those painful experiences. You may not understand why things happened the way they did. You may not see how anything good could come from what you've been through. But if you keep trusting, keep moving forward, and refuse to let bitterness take root, you will see how God can turn your greatest pain into your greatest testimony. Maybe that betrayal taught you how to depend on God more than people. Maybe that rejection set you free from the wrong situation so you could step into the right one. Maybe that struggle gave you the wisdom, strength, and resilience you need for the next level. Nothing you've been through will be wasted. So don't let your pain define you. Let it empower you. Use it as motivation to rise higher, to become stronger, to help others who are going through the same thing. When you turn your pain into power, you're not just overcoming, you're stepping into a purpose bigger than yourself. And that's when you truly win. When life feels uncertain, when things don't go as planned, it's easy to lose faith. You may start to wonder if the promises God gave you will ever come to pass. You may feel like the doors are closing, the obstacles are too big, and the wait is too long. But in those moments, it's crucial to stay in faith and trust God's plan, even when you can't see the way forward. Faith isn't just about believing when everything is going well. True faith is trusting God, even when you don't understand. It's knowing that His ways are higher than yours, that He's working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. You may be in a season of waiting, but God is never wasting your time. He's preparing you, refining you, and setting things in motion for your future. Sometimes the path to your destiny isn't a straight line. It's filled with detours, delays, and roadblocks. But God uses these moments to shape you into who you're meant to be. Trust that every setback is part of His plan. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Even the things that feel like setbacks are setting you up for a breakthrough. Consider the story of Abraham. God promised him a child, but Abraham and Sarah waited for years, long after they thought it was possible. They didn't see the way forward, but Abraham didn't give up. He stayed in faith, and in the right season, God's promise came true. God's timing is perfect, and He will fulfill His promises at the right moment. Your journey may not look the way you thought it would. The dream you have may not be unfolding the way you imagined, but God is in control, and He knows the way. Trust that His plan for you is bigger than anything you can see right now. You can see bigger. Stay faithful, stay patient, and keep trusting in His goodness, because He is always working things together for your good. When things seem tough, remind yourself that God has a plan for your life, and that plan is good. Jeremiah 29:11 tells us that God has a future and a hope for us. Even when you don't understand what's happening or why things are taking so long, remember that God's plan is far better than your own. He is positioning you for something greater than you could ever imagine. The key is to stay rooted in faith no matter what comes your way. Keep trusting, keep believing. Don't let fear, doubt, or discouragement take hold. When you trust God's plan, you are declaring that He is bigger than your problems, greater than your setbacks, and more than enough for every need you have. So today, choose to stay in faith. Trust that the delays, the struggles, the waiting, none of it is in vain. God is working behind the scenes, preparing the right opportunities, opening the right doors, and positioning you for a future beyond what you can see. Keep trusting His plan, and you will see His promises come to fruition in your life. In the midst of life's challenges and disappointments, it's easy to lose sight of the things that truly matter: joy, peace, and purpose. We get caught up in the hustle, the struggles, and the worries, but living with joy, peace, and purpose is not just a dream. It's a decision. It's choosing to focus on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. It's about embracing the fullness of life despite the circumstances, because you know that you were created for something greater. Joy is not based on what happens around you. It's rooted in what's inside of you. It's about choosing to find happiness in the little things, even when everything else seems difficult. Joy is a mindset. It's the ability to look at life with a heart of gratitude, to find beauty in the everyday moments, and to recognize that no matter what, God is still good. When you live with joy, you let go of bitterness, resentment, and negativity, and you make room for the blessings that are already in your life. Peace comes when you stop fighting against what is. So often, we stress over things we can't control: the opinions of others, the timing of our dreams, the things that don't go as planned. True peace comes when you surrender those worries to God and trust that He's in control. It's about choosing to rest in the assurance that no matter what happens, God is working everything together for your good. When you live with peace, you stop letting external circumstances steal your inner calm, and you start walking in confidence, knowing that God's guiding you. Purpose is the driving force behind everything you do. It's the knowledge that your life matters, that you were created with a unique plan, and that your actions have an impact. Living with purpose means waking up each day knowing that you are part of something bigger than yourself. It's about aligning your heart with God's calling, serving others, and pursuing your dreams with intention. When you live with purpose, you wake up every day excited to live out the plan God has for you, no matter how big or small it may seem. To live with joy, peace, and purpose doesn't mean that everything will be perfect. Life will still have its challenges, its ups and downs, but when you choose to focus on these three things, you will find that your perspective shifts. You begin to see God's hand in every situation. You start to realize that the struggles you face are not there to defeat you. They are there to refine you and help you grow into the person you were meant to be. Don't let the world steal your joy. Don't let the pressures of life take away your peace. Don't let distractions pull you away from your purpose. Make the decision today to live with joy, peace, and purpose, and watch how it transforms your life. Choose to focus on what matters, to live each day with gratitude, and to trust that God has already prepared the way for you. When you do this, you will not only experience a life of fulfillment, but you will also inspire others to do the same. As you move forward, remember that joy, peace, and purpose are not just emotions or concepts. They are choices you make every single day. You have the power to live a life that's full of purpose, to find joy in even the smallest moments, and to walk in peace, knowing that God's plan is always at work. No matter what challenges come your way, stay anchored in His promises. Keep trusting that He is preparing a future for you that is greater than anything you could ever imagine. Let your life be a reflection of the strength, beauty, and resilience that comes when you walk in His love and grace. Today, choose joy, choose peace, and choose to live with purpose. Because when you do, you're not only transforming your own life, you're making a powerful impact on the world around you. You are meant for greatness, and God's plan for you is unstoppable. Keep moving forward, keep living with faith, and keep shining your light, because the best is yet to come.